OT game and a 4-point game. So the Hawks and the Chargers have not played for bigger stakes this year. It is for the GCAA crown and a chance to move on and play basketball in Kansas. Hi, everybody. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage here on the home floor of Georgia Highlands. They are introducing the starting five, so we will do the same and start, though, with the visitors. One day ago, these gentlemen were on the floor. They return as the starting five. Woods averaging better than 6 a ball game. Wiggins better than 12. Davis right at 8 points per game. Carlos Hart, he averages 20 plus. And you've got Justin Edmondson a tad under 10 per contest. Meanwhile, on the other side of the floor, a little bit of a change. Instead of Ocon in the lineup, it is Kerry Kane who is on the floor. Dozier averaging 12 a game. You've got Danik averaging a little better than 7. Horton, 7.5 a contest. Kane right at 5. And Evans, nearly 12 points per contest for this Georgia Highlands squad. So there you have it. The gentleman who will start things off for South Georgia, and the gentleman who will be on the floor first for Georgia Highlands. Georgia Highlands, 1 seed, and South Georgia is the 2. And they are there at the mid part of the floor. The ball is tipped skyward, and you got your basketball underway from the Corral, as it is affectionately known, on the campus of Georgia Highlands. It is a really busy sports day here on Jock Jive. Basketball, baseball, softball, 12 games in all. Evans lining it up early with the 3. And we do have a halftime score in the Southeast District Women's Basketball Championship. South Georgia Tech playing Spartanburg Methodist. Mark Brown on the coverage there. And at the half, it is a 61-35 South Georgia Tech lead. So the number 1 team in the nation appears to be well on its way to advancing to the Nationals. For the ladies in Lubbock, guys, it's in Kansas. Out of the corner comes Hart. Opposite side to Wiggins. Fed down low. Turnaround jumper. Davis the miss. Able to track down the rebound is Horton. 3 ball from Dozier off the rim. Tipped out. Horton's got it. He says, let me try that. Off the rim, and Evans going to be called with a foul, reaching over the shoulder of Zay Wiggins. So South Georgia State with possession of the basketball. They'll bring it in from the baseline. Moved over to Edmondson. Wiggins with it, brings it just inside the mid part of the floor. How do these two teams get here? I'm glad you asked. Got that information for you. Georgia Highlands 87-64 over Gordon. Then last night over Central Georgia Tech by a 63-54 final. South Georgia State knocks off South Georgia Tech 84-69. And then last night 84-69 over Albany Tech. Just realized they have beaten both of their foes, getting to the championship game by identical scores. And it'll be brought in play by Davis from the baseline. And Danik will bump Edmondson. So Danik, who sat out quite a bit of the first half in yesterday's ball game after picking up 2 early personals. He will again pick up 2 early fouls, and like a night ago, may spend the bulk of the first half on the bench. And there goes Danik to the sidelines, as the first of 2 Edmondson free throws is good. Edmondson, the sophomore guard, 2 for 2, got a 1-point game early. Out of the ball game goes Davis. Keith Lamar coming in for South Georgia State. In play to Dozier. One loss this year in conference play for Georgia Highlands. It was to the team that they played last night in the semifinals, Central Georgia Tech. Evans has got another three. So it is Evans 6, South Georgia State 2. Or really, I guess it is Evans 6 and Edmondson 2. One player from each team accounting for all points. There's an offensive charge to Carlos Hart. Used the non-dribbling hand to create a little separation between he and the Charger. And it'll be Georgia Highlands basketball. They'll bring it in from the opposite end of the floor. Lob to Dozier over the head of Edmondson. Evans wanting another three. He's got two of them. 2 of 3, which according to Meatloaf ain't bad. Okay, you don't go as far back as I do. The singer Meatloaf, not the meal Meatloaf. Okay, it was 1977. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You haven't heard the song. Okay, I'll move along then. Put in play from the baseline by Keith Lamar. I said we're all over the place, by the way, and we are. Down in Americus as that is swatted away, and Kane comes up with it. Mark Brown with the South Georgia Tech and Spartanburg Methodist battle. Dozier going down. A little slow getting up. And he's rattled a little bit. But he will wobble on the floor and apparently be all right because he stays in the ballgame. Got a couple of sporting events in Coastal Alabama East, softball and baseball. Jason Thompson of the coverage of Wallace Hansful and Coastal East baseball. Jarrett Bales with softball between Carl Sandberg and the Lady Warhawks. Kamari Darrington is in Coastal Alabama North, where Mississippi Gulf Coast is taking on the Eagles of Coastal North in softball, and Dallas Renzi is in Bay Minette, Alabama. And that's where Wallace Dothan and Coastal South are tangling in both baseball and softball. Kane's got it, goes over to Dozier. TJ Porter has checked into the game, a 6'8 sophomore from Atlanta. Kane getting his first 2 of the game. Those are the first 2 non-Evans Georgia Highland points. Taken away from Zay Wiggins. On the other end of the floor, Porter with an easy 2. And Georgia Highlands jumping out to the early lead of 6. We have learned over the course of the last couple of days to not put a whole lot of stock, though, in early leads. Zay Wiggins, who was popping the threes like crazy last night, missed, but the tip in is good. Well, let's see what Wiggins did do last night. Got that information right here, I believe. Over goes to JoJo Bale. Dozier with it out front. Wiggins had 25 last night. And he was 5 of 9 from behind the arc. Porter getting in on the 3 for all. Wiggins over to Davis. Down low it goes to Hart. Drives the baseline. Horton going over to Dozier. Nice feed to Kane for 2. And Corey Baldwin says, Hawks, you got to come over here and we got to talk. Chargers, 9-point lead, 5 minutes into the game. Early momentum belonging to the Chargers. Obviously got a long way to go. 35 minutes to play in this one. But the early start, the jump start belonging to the Chargers. Number 1 seed, 23 wins on the year in 32 outings. South Georgia State, 25 victories this year. End of 3, South Georgia Tech a 78-43 lead in the Southeast District Championships there in Americus, Georgia. Number 1 team in the country. Looks like they're going to stay number 1 and win. I think that's going to be 32 in a row, maybe 33 straight. And should be the top seed going into the Nationals. Coming out of the timeout, Corey Baldwin's Hawks get what they want, a bucket. Little collision there at midcourt, no whistle. Dozier, Kane will tip it out of bounds. And Prestwood saying, hey, I was a little banged up. Shouldn't you think a foul should have been called as the official walked by? The official no. Still rubbing that elbow was Prestwood. Well, welcome to the age of modern basketball. It is a very physical sport. Prestwood bringing it down. Top of the key, feed goes to Hart. Here's a three-pointer. It dips in and out for Lamar. Trying to go back with a putback was Hart. And there is a foul. So Hart shooting. Evans picking up his second foul, which may mean some time next to Jonathan Merritt. The head coach is in the future of Evans, as Joel Pullen stands beside coach. Let's see who that is squatted at the scorer's table coming into the ball game. That is London Riley. So Riley and also Ubong Okan will check into the ball game. Pullen too. In and out, into the hands of Porter, over to Pullen. Over to Porter, hands it to Pullen. Prestwood steps out to defend. And you're going to have an offensive on Pullen. And now you're going to have, let's see, I never saw him tee up anybody, but Prestwood did go over and just yanked the ball from Pullen. I think that was more of a warning shot across the bow with the whistle versus the technical, I think. I don't think they got Prestwood with the tee, and he'll come off the floor. Back into the game is Zay Wiggins. JoJo Bell also checking into the game for South Georgia. Over to Lamar. And his Hart putting up the three ball. It splashes in. And the 6-point lead cut in half. Stolen away. South Georgia State chance to make it a 1-point game. just a little bit shy on the Lamar offering. Porter coming down with the board. Feeds it over to Pullen. Opposite side of the floor, Porter. He's already hit one of those. Too strong on that one. And it got the top of the backboard, which is considered out of play. It'll be South Georgia State's possession. Wiggins working into the right side, near the timeline, into the paint. There's a collision between he and Ocon, and it is Wiggins who committed the offensive. Well, the two officials conferring, are we going to get a change on the call? And now there is a blocking foul. So originally an offensive, the two officials talk and they change it from an offensive to a blocking foul, and that's going to be on Ocon. First on Ocon. Zay Wiggins will shoot. Wiggins a 78% free throw shooter, a little better than 12 points per contest. In a continuing to fill corral. As I mentioned, that's what they affectionately call the home of the Chargers. So does that mean we are here watching a rodeo? Well, you got some horses on both sides of the floor. Put in play to Riley, back over to Pullen. From the corner, the three is off from London. Ocon, the 7-footer, able to retrieve. Out it goes to Pullen. Three en route. Off the mark for P.J. Carter. To the other end of the floor, the perimeter two. That's Davis with a miss. Winds up in the hands of Pullen. Handoff given to Riley, kicks it over to Carter. Carter will shoot the long two, couldn't get the friendly bounce. Lamar with it for South Georgia State. Over it goes to Hart. Back over to Wiggins. 25 points last night for Wiggins. Short on the three try. Porter grabs it. Hands it over to Pullen. Pullen lost into the paint. Got a jump ball on the possession arrow. Will take us to the other end of the floor. Here comes Horton back into the game for the Chargers. Porter goes out. Dozier checking back in. And Pullen will exit the game. In a 15-13, one-bucket ball game. GCAA championship. Winner of Region 17 and the representative for the conference. That is kicked by Dozier. And I would assume seeding-wise, of course, all of that decided, I think, on Monday. When the selection committee decides the seeding. All the conference districts, region tournaments over this weekend. And if I had to guess, Georgia is typically in that 16 to 20 range in the seeding process. Over it goes to Carter. Carter with a miss. There is a whistle. There is a foul. That's going to be charged to Keith Lamar. And P.J. Carter, the Fairburn, Georgia product, will head to the stripe and shoot three. And I say normally they're in that 15 to 20 range in the seeding process. I mean, obviously, there have been years where that was not true, and you had a dominant team atop the conference. This year, at least on a national perspective, Region 17 hasn't had domination. There might have been a team dominant in the conference. Georgia Highlands only losing one in 16 conference outings. But they've got 9 losses, so 8 out of the conference. And those are the kind of things that the selection committee looks at when determining the seeding. Now, for instance, on the women's side, Georgia's going to have likely the number 1 seed. I can't imagine, though you have a different committee doing the seeding selection versus the polls, I can't imagine a number 1 team in the country with 33-plus wins not being the top seed. Ocon able to come up with a loose ball after the Prestwood miss. Dozier kicks it into the corner. There's an offensive charge to Dozier. So Dozier will pick up his first foul. It'll be put in play from the baseline. Lamar to handle the throw in. That is Jacob Crockett, who is checked into the ball game for South Georgia State. Davis with the drive to lay in. Back to a 2-point game. In play to Dozier. And now a technical. And that's going to be called on Dozier. I'm not sure what he said, but it was evident that he was not particularly pleased with the tight Prestwood defense. So Zay Wiggins, one of the better free throw shooters on the team. Obviously, you got him at the line shooting the technicals, and he will hit his first. He is the best free throw shooter on the floor for South Georgia State. Doesn't have the absolute best overall numbers, but everybody else was on the bench. An immediate timeout. Do you remember the last time we went to a break and it was a 16-7 ball game? It's now 17 apiece at the 9:57 mark. Inside 10 to play, half number 1, knotted up at 17, and I don't know that anybody really expected anything else. Played to an OT game in their first meeting, won by Georgia Highlands 85-83. That was when they played in Waycross. Then played here in Rome, and Georgia Highlands won it by 4, 69-65. So when you look at the historical data and the fact that these two teams play one another very well, kind of get what you expect. Tied at 17. Out front it goes to Horton. He'll put it up from the elbow, break the 17 all time. Wow, we've already got some softball over down in Alabama. Coastal Alabama East in 5, knocking off Carl Sandburg 11-zip. So technically, with East being the home team, that was only a 4.5 inning ball game. Too strong with the Horton jumper. Rebound belongs to Davis. Another opportunity for South Georgia State to tie. Davis lost it. Dozier picks it off. Heads to the other end of the floor with the numbers. One on the shot himself, not there. And we've got a whistle and a Hawk with a foul. That is going to be Crockett picking up the personal, his first. Non-shooting foul. Dozier to put it in play from the baseline. Lobbed over to Horton, handoff back to Dozier. Back to Horton, off the glass, not there. Fighting for the loose ball, swatting around, picked up eventually by Lamar. Hands it over to Wiggins, and Wiggins will bring it down the floor with yet another opportunity for South Georgia State to tie. This is chance number 3. In and out for Davis. 3 possessions with a chance to tie, and they didn't got a blocking foul. Zay Wiggins guilty. That is the 5th foul, I think. I think that scoreboard's been updated. 5 team fouls and 2 personals on Wiggins. Pulling back into the game, puts it in from the baseline. Dozier with those 2 fouls out. That will ricochet off Horton into the hands of Crockett. Crockett with a miss, loose ball. Time to get it back by Woods. And did we get a jump foul out of a mix or a foul? Haven't seen the officials indicate yet. And apparently a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring the Chargers. They will put it in play from the baseline. In play to Pullen. Carter out front. Riley a little too tall with the toss, but Horton able to track it down. Back out front it goes to Carter. Puts up the 3 off the rim, rebounded by Hart. Couple of tries. And you got a jump ball. This time it will stay on this end of the floor. Well, the Hawks got to be thinking, what have we got to do to get over the 17-point barrier? Been there for a while. About 5 possessions now. The plus side, if you're a Hawk, is that the Chargers haven't been successful on the other end of the floor the last few possessions. Put in play to Hart. Out front it goes to Crockett, launches the 3 short. Into the corner and out of bounds. Low scoring game between one team that puts 82 on the board per night, typically, that being South Georgia, and the other almost 82, that being Georgia Highlands. That'll go out of bounds off Kane. So if you got 82 and nearly 82, then 164 points per night as Danica and his 2 personals checks back into the game. Of course, doing the math again, which I'm not real good at, but about 82 cumulative points per half, and we're a long way from 82 with 36 currently. Now tack on 2 more, 38, not enough at 19. Riley with a miss. Hart's got it, a chance for South Georgia State to take the lead. And we've got a whistle, foul, and a 1-and-1. TJ Horton picking up his first foul. And Carlos Hart will shoot. Hart, an 81% free throw shooter, 20 points a game. Carlos Hart. Do have a final from America, South Georgia Tech knocking off Spartanburg Methodist 99-57. So they are headed west now. Knew they were going there anyway. But it's now official. South Georgia Tech heading to Lubbock to play in the Nationals, likely as the number 1 seed, and they will as the number 1 team in the country. Backcourt pulling. South Georgia State with an opportunity to add to the 2-point advantage. Put in play to Prestwood. And you got a whistle. Prestwood knocked down. Kane apparently did it. I mentioned last night, if you don't know the numbers of the guilty party, just kind of look, and the one that looks like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Can't be me, it's him. And Prestwood will go to the stripe, shooting the 1-and-1. For Kane, that is foul number 1. Already 10-plus personals for Georgia Highlands, so it's not a 1-and-1, it's the double bonus. And everything from here on out for the final 6:31 and a half is a 2-shot foul with, of course, there's always exceptions. Foul while shooting a 3, fouled while making a bucket. There's a lot of reasons it wouldn't just be 2, but on average, it'll be a 2-shot foul. Put in play to Pullen. The tip nearly taken away by Edmondson, but Pullen able to get it back. Around the horn. Floated into the glass a little bit short for Carter. Davis has got it on the far sidelines. Stolen away down low by Riley. That is a long Pullen jumper. Too long. Prestwood will tip it over to Bell, back to Prestwood. Davis turns around, drops it in for 2. 6-point lead, South Georgia State. Out it goes to Pullen. And there is a blocking foul on Edmondson. He is knocked down and immediately dabs the nose, but he's the guy guilty. Still not shooting, just one more Hawk foul before you get a Charger at the line shooting the bonus. Given to Dozier. Riley over to Carter. Off the glass, in and out, rebounded by Woods. Over to Davis, and he definitely doesn't have the numbers. Everybody in front of him was wearing white jerseys, so teammates say, hey, hold up. Wait for us. Hart with a glance to the sidelines, gets instructions. Works into the timeline on the left side. Prestwood back over to Hart. Hart, the scoop, the foul on Kane, his second. And we are inside 5, so we're going to take another break. Compliments of the media timeout. 4:42 left in half one. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Well, the Chargers have hit a patch of ice, stuck on 19. I mentioned we went into the media timeout inside 15, and they had 16 on the board. Then we go into the media timeout inside 10, and they've got 19. Here we are now with a media break inside 5, and still stuck on 19. Carlos Hart into your picture to go to the stripe and shoot. .442 left in the half. Here comes Porter back into the ball game. Out will go Kane. Kane, his second personal, is the reason Carlos Hart is shooting free throws. He'll hit both. An 8-point advantage. Largest lead of the game was a 9-point advantage for the Chargers, but we've had a 17-point turnaround, with the Hawks now enjoying an 8-point lead. And Crockett a little too tight with that defense, picking up his second foul. And that should have Dozier at the stripe. Seven team fouls now on the Hawks. Dozier, an 84% free throw shooter, 12 points a contest. Obviously, he makes a lot more than he misses. Prestwood, nice feed down low. Hard for two. Back over it goes to Dozier. Feeds it out front. Horton to the elbow, lost it briefly. Woods defending, trying to feed it to Dozier, picked off by Prestwood. And Hart will walk it out to the mid part of the floor. 8-point advantage, matching their largest. Prestwood, low pass, but able to pick it up. Edmondson working into the paint. Porter swatted from the backside. Woods comes up with a loose ball. Left the ball behind, and Dozier says, I'll take that. Feeds over to Carter. He was inside the arc. Long two, no good. Davis with it. Over to Edmondson. Feeds it to Davis. At the elbow, Edmondson. Hart into the paint. Shoots and makes the bunny. There's the game's first double-digit lead. And apparently there's a fan that the official says, tend to him. Apparently he is saying, we're just not gonna tolerate certain things, and Here's some of the certain things that the official says must go. Boy, the official just immediately summons the officer and said, take care of him. He does. They go, and we get back to the basketball. Dozier, it's swatted away by Hart. Dozier the steal. Brings it to the glass. It's rejected. Okon able to come up with it. Over to Riley. Fires the three ball. Tipped high into the air. Lamar coming down with the board. Hands it back over to Hart. Hart driving, and he'll wind up on the floor. Whistle sound, and let's see what the foul is. That is going to be charged to Riley. Riley picking up his first personal. And as I mentioned, everything's a two-shot foul from here on out until we get to half number 2. So Hart will go to the line. In a 31-21 game, 2:08 to play, half number 1. Lead goes to 11. Congratulations, by the way, to James Frey and all the Lady Jets at South Georgia Tech. 99 on the board tonight. And they advance over Spartanburg Methodist. 2:08 to go in the half. In play to Horton. Fed over to Evans, who's back into the ballgame. Picked up 2 personals and had to sit a spell. They've missed his offense. Porter, there's a blocking foul. JoJo Bell committing the foul. And it'll put Porter at the strike. That'll be the first on Bell. Meanwhile, Porter, a 45% free throw shooter. 6 points a contest from Porter. Played in 15 of the 32 games this year. He'll trim it to a 10-point game. Off the window for Bell. Evans over to Porter. Out of the corner comes Horton. Okon setting the screen. Dozier back into the corner to Porter. Fires the 3 ball. He will roll it through the cylinder and in. Lob to the other side of the floor. Prestwood with it. Hart. Evans went for the steal. Spin move by Hart. Top of the key give goes to Edmondson. Back over to Hart. Shoots the 3. Nibbled the rim. Porter had it, lost it. Edmondson shot it, missed it. Porter's got it. Goes over to Horton. Feeds to Okon. And Okon dropping it in for a pair. It's a 7-point game. And now you got a double foul called on Davis and Evans. Well, the tension starting to rise and the temperaments flaring. And the double foul, let's see who it's more costly to. I know that's 3 on Evans. See how many that is on Davis. And it looks like it is 1 on Davis. So that's far more costly to Evans. So Evans will sit the remaining 30 seconds, picking up his 3rd personal. And the Hawks would like to eat up the bulk of the time remaining this possession. Bell with a miss. Out off Ocon. And the Hawks will have it, the final 2.8. Into the corner. Hart with a miss on the 3, and we are done with a half. And did I mention temperaments flaring? They are, and as a matter of fact, they're going to try to separate the two teams as they head towards the locker room. Hawks will go first, and Chargers will follow. I think we have got the ingredients from a variety of standpoints for a hot second half here in the GCAA championship game. It is halftime. At the half, just 7 separating the Chargers and the Hawks. It is halftime. While you look at some team stats, let me give you some individual numbers. For South Georgia State, Hart, the top scorer with 14. Davis had 8. 5 points for Wiggins, 2 each for Lamar, Bell, and Prestwood. Meanwhile, for Georgia Highlands, top scorer Porter with 10. 4 points for Carter, 8 for Evans. A couple of points each for Ocon, for Kane, and for Dozier. Foul issues, 13 fouls total for Georgia Highlands. Evans with 3, Kane, Dozier, and Danik with 2. Everybody else 1 or less. 9 fouls for South Georgia State. Wiggins and Crockett with 2. Everybody else 1 or less. Leading rebounder for Georgia Highlands, 6 each for Ocon and Porter. For South Georgia State, 4 each for Davis and Hart. Largest South Georgia lead 12, largest Georgia Highlands lead 9 in the first half. And there you see our halftime score, 35-28. We are ready for second half action and expecting fireworks in a 35-28 ball game at the half. Evans trying to begin the second half like he did the first, and that's with the three. It is swatted out of bounds off of Wiggins. And it will be Danik and company bringing it in. Danik with a couple of personals. Limited playing time in the first half. Again, same was true last night. Danik picking up early personals, limiting his first half play. And Danik in the first half did not take a shot into the ball game now, though. With those two personals, Evans in the game with three. Davis turn around. 1, 2, 3 bounces and drops in. Nine-point lead, the largest Hawk advantage, 12. The largest Charger lead was 9. In the corner to Dozier, defending is Edmondson. Working it out of the corner. Over to Danik. And it's Horton with it, bringing it baseline. Shoots over Hart for 2. And we're a minute into the second half, and it's a 7-point game. So 60 seconds into the half, and still where we were at the half from the standpoint of spread between the two. And there is a foul going to be charged to Dozier, and that will put him at 3. Well, the scoreboard indicates 2. I want to think that's 3. Let me look at the stat sheet. And yeah, they had him with 2 personals in the first half. So I think despite what the scoreboard says, that is 3 on Dozier. Now you got a foul on Edmondson. That's his second. Put in play to Dozier. Lobs over to Horton. Fires a rocket down low. Evans dropping it in, and now you got a little extracurricular and activity between Evans and Hart. And the temperaments were relatively cool for about 60 seconds. You saw somebody wearing a white jersey helping up somebody with a blue, but that didn't last long. It's gotten tense again, and I don't think they flagged anybody with a foul. The officials trying to get a grasp on the temperaments that are a little frayed at the moment. And not as in afraid, but as in F-R-A-Y-E-D, I think. Heck, I don't know how to talk, much less spell, but you get the picture. Davis turns around, puts it up for 2. Back to a 7-point ball game. And you're going to have a foul on Edmondson, and I believe that will be 3 on Edmondson. It sure is appearing at this point as though somebody, and maybe that would be plural as in somebodies, are going to finish the game watching after fouling out. Got a number with 3 already and still 18 minutes to go in the game. Danik was looking for his first points of the game and comes up short. Put in play by Davis. GCAA championship game. Wrapping up all the basketball that's played outside of Texas and Kansas in the NJCAA this weekend. Kansas, that's where the Nationals are playing for the men, and Hutchinson, Texas for the ladies in Lubbock. Over to Hart, trying to make his way around Evans. Evans not wanting to pick up foul number 4. Davis with it. Spins, and you got to travel. Travel on Kyrick Davis, put in play to Dozier. Dozier working it right side down low, then brings it back out front, hits the reset button for the offense of Georgia Highlands. Over to Evans. To the charity stripe, in and out. Rebound in by Hart. To the glass. Wood falls down. Evans falls down over him. All unintentional. Woods reaching for the back. Evans being pulled back by Kane. Woods up. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Trips up Evans, and Evans fell over Woods. Horton will drop it in from the paint. Over it goes to Davis, underhands to Hart. And that is kicked by Dozier. Ocon coming into the game. Kane will go out. It'll be put in play, I think, from the baseline. Now the officials pointing, talking, discussing. And yeah, from the baseline, the throw in from Hart. Lobs it to Davis, back over to Hart. Into the corner, Woods, back over to Hart. He'll drive off the window for two with 2 left on the shot clock. To Danning to Evans. A 9-point lead for the Hawks of South Georgia State. Over to Danning. Fed to Dozier. Ocon looking for it down low. Harton will shoot the 3 ball. Rims out. Evans trying to reach it. Can't. And it'll be South Georgia State ball. So it'll be put in play from the near sidelines. Davis to do the honors. Over it goes to Hart. Hawks trying to rebuild a double-digit lead. Got a foul on the floor. TJ Horton charged with a personal. That'll be his second. It's the second team foul as well. Fading Wiggins, but there's an offensive first. It'll be on Wiggins. It's 3 fouls on Wiggins. So a number of players playing with 3. Nobody's got 4 yet. There's a reach by Woods. They're going to charge the foul to Wiggins. Well, there's your first competitor today to pick up 4, as Wiggins will pick up his 4th personal. Timeout on the floor, inside 15 to play. Got our first media timeout of the second half in a 43-34 ball game. from the other side of the floor, you try to kind of read the body language and the motions, the gestures, the facial expressions. And we were talking about at the end of the first half, it was kind of fractious. I don't know that it's changed that much from the end of the first half and now 5 minutes into the second half. Horton over to Dozier. Out front it goes to Horton. That's Evans faking the three. Looks over to Dozier, goes up with it, winds up on the floor with it, and somebody apparently put him there, and that somebody is Giannis Woods. So Woods picking up his first, sending Evans to the stripe. Evans a 78% free throw shooter. Nearly 12 points per contest. The redshirt freshman, 12 starts this year in 16 game appearances. This being his 13th. Over it goes to Hart. Fanned to Woods in the paint, feeds it down low, Prestwood. Over to Davis, outside of the paint, leans in. Tipped away, off the rim, Porter grabs it. Got a hurt player on this side of the floor. That was TJ Horton, and that is the reason for the stoppage in play. So Horton is going to limp over to the sidelines. At the moment, that doesn't look real good. You hope it's one of those situations where, you know how the ankle can pop over and burn like crazy and you think you've damaged it severely, and about 30 to 60 seconds later able to put weight on it, walk around, and all's good. Let's hope that's the case for Horton, and that is just a quick injury and not something in a or of a permanent nature, or temporarily permanent. Evans with the top of the key, handoff goes to Dozier. Into the corner, Porter, who had 10 in the first half, drains the three in half number two. Boy, now you got Horton hopping over to the trainer's table. That's not an indication of something he might get over quickly. Into the paint, Woods with a jam. Evans for three, he'll drop it in. Chargers turn it into a 4-point game. Given to Prestwood, top side. Crockett's into the ball game for the Hogs. Prestwood trying to match with a three. It is tipped over to Davis, and Davis with the two. And a timeout on the floor asked for by the Hawks. 47-42. A ton of time left in the GCAA championship game. Just about all Wayne Jones County. Diving catches shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. 12:45 left to play. Somebody's season will end this afternoon. Somebody's season will extend this afternoon. Chargers went on a run that cut the lead to 4, expanded by 1 back to 5 for the Hawks. But as I mentioned, there is a lot of time to go in this one. Two teams that have played close every time they've met this year, and that's twice prior. Dozier for 2. And it's a one-possession game again. Davis over to Crockett. Turns around, launches the 2 off the glass and rim. And there is going to be a foul on Porter. Porter apparently clearing out the board to snag the rebound and shove somebody aside. That'll be his first personal. Davis to put it in play from the baseline. Hartz, who's pretty dang good at scoring, puts it over the rim. And Prestwood bumping Dozier from the backside. That'll be the first foul on Prestwood. In play to Dozier. Evans driving the paint, kicks it into the corner. Porter's been hot from there, off the rim. Ocon with a rebound, gets a look, can't get it to fall. That will go off hard and out of bounds. We got everybody making calls. Got Davis going in touch to charge. You got Hart saying that it was a travel. But it's the guys wearing the black and white that get the say, and they say it was out of bounds. Off of the Hawks and belong to the Chargers. JoJo Bell coming into the ball game for the Hawks. Crockett will go out. Got a little perspiration to tend to there in the paint. Dozier to put it in play. Feeds into the paint. Porter's there for the play in and the 2 to make it again a 3-point game. To the other side of the floor to Hart. He'll shoot the 3. It's off. Put back around the cylinder and in for Bell. Evans, the offensive, and that's going to be 4 on Evans. So Evans picks up his 4th. He'll go to the sidelines and, dependent upon need, maybe out for about 5 or 6 minutes. Meanwhile, I see TJ Horton back on the bench with shoes on. You know, he had that ankle get bummed up a little bit. Hopefully that's a good sign for him. If not, now you got Horton and Evans, a pair of starters, sitting on the sidelines for a bit. Horton with an injury potentially, and Evans with his 4th personal. In the corner, Bell back out front to Lamar. Hart directing traffic, back over to Lamar. Porter's got it right side, brings it down low, shoots over Ocon for 2. Dozier to Porter, fires out front to Carter. Shoots from the stripe, hit the bucket, and Bell hit him. Chance for three for P.J. Carter, the 6'5 sophomore from Fairburn, Georgia. And we got a timeout on the floor. We are inside 10. The first dead ball after the 10-minute marks got us to the media timeout. Chargers down by 5. We'll hope to trim it to 4 from the stripe when we return. Well, I think last night we were looking at some young fans. They start them early. The love of the game. Got a little bit of all ages. Yeah, getting into the music. Young, and we'll just stick with not quite as young. Because, of course, I fit into that not quite as young category. Watching basketball in the Corral on a Saturday afternoon, Rome, Georgia. Inside 10 to play. 3 quarters of pursuit of a trip to the Nationals done, and we still don't have a clear picture on who's going to represent Region 17 as it goes to a 4-point game. In play to Hart, and a quick foul. And as Riley picking up the foul, it'll be his second. Out of the corner comes Prestwood. Over to Davis. And the whirly whirl. Over it goes to Dozier. An hour 26 into this one in real time. Basketball minutes, 30 and some change. Ocon! Well, he didn't have to reach far. When you're a 7-footer, you don't have to reach far and don't have to jump much to have it over the rim. Over to Hart. Picked off. Did I mention, by the way, got a final down in Alabama, Coastal Alabama South, knocking off Wallace Dothan 8-4 in the first of 2 in softball. If you're keeping up with the ACCC, that's a pretty big win. Wallace Dothan, year in and year out, has been a formidable foe in the South Division of the ACCC. Bell with a miss, gives it over to Davis, spins back into the corner. Lamar says, let me try that. He's got 3. Meanwhile, Coastal Alabama North has just knocked off Mississippi Gulf Coast in softball. 6-2 in the first of 2. Reciprocating is Riley. And we get to the 8-minute mark, still in a 4-point game. Prestwood to Davis, shoots from the elbow, got the look he wanted, couldn't get it to fall. And it apparently hit the clock. That's out of play. Let me check that. I just re-looked at that score. It was Wallace Dothan beating Coastal South. Okay. Yeah, that's what they do and do fairly often. Okay, I'm getting all discombobulated because Wallace Dothran's playing Coastal South. Let me just start from the beginning. Can I do that Jim Carrey thing where he makes it sound like you're rewinding a cassette or a reel-to-reel player? Wallace Dothran in baseball defeating Coastal South 8-4. In softball, Wallace Dothran 10-1 over Coastal South. All right, there we go. Got you updated. Two-point ball game. 7:06 remains. Prestwood out of the corner. Back into the corner to Edmondson. Feeds to Lamar. Nice pass to Prestwood into the paint. Lost by Hart, but there is a whistle. There's a foul and there's a shove. That's going to be Ocon. So Ocon picks up his second foul. Hawks to bring it in from the baseline. In play to Prestwood, rejected by Ocon. And then he tracks down the loose ball. Chargers with a chance to tie or take the 1-point lead. Pullen. Over to Riley, back to Pullen. Porter's got it, feeds into the corner. Riley shoots the three off the rim. And I think Ocon's about to pick up his third foul. Yep. 3 now on Ocon. So we go to the other end of the floor, and Lamar will head to the stripe. He'll shoot the 1-and-1. He is a 57% free throw shooter and misses his first. Doesn't earn the bonus. Keeps it a 2-point game. Pull into the glass, misfires, Hart's got it. Hands over to Wiggins, who's back into the game with 4 personals. The Charger 4-fouler, Edmonds still on the bench. Edmondson into the corner. Wiggins out front, shoots the 3, rims it in and out. Ocon with it. From the corner for 3, off the rim for Riley. Hart's got it, Pullen tries to take it away. Hart puts it on the floor, heads to the other end. Shoots from the left side, it's not there. 2 bodies on the floor, and somebody committed a foul. That's going to be Porter. Porter picking up his second foul. Edmondson will shoot. Nearly 10 points a game for Edmondson. Woods checking in. And off the floor comes Prestwood. Also Lamar coming out of the ball game. And Woods will go back in. Edmondson in the first half, 2 points, and they both came from the line. 2 more points, both from the line from Edmondson. Pullen working it into the corner, gives over to Riley, back to Pullen. Carter's got it on this side. Ocon the screen. Woods picks up Carter over to Pullen. Fires into the corner. 3 on the shot clock. Off the rim with a 3 try. And let's see who fouled who. Ocon and Hart both went up. Both got physical, and let's see who it's called on. That's going to be on Hart. So we are inside 5 to play after the second timeout in the game against Hart. I think we can safely call this the home stretch in a 4-point game. Well, I mentioned previously they played in Georgia, went to overtime. Georgia Highlands wins that one. They played here in Rome, and it was a 4-point ball game, 69-65. Again, Chargers win it. Hawks hoping the third time is the charm for them. And of course, the Chargers hoping that a third win is the charm for them. Hart with a personal, Ocon at the line. As we return to basketball with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in regulation. You might recall Coastal South and Sneed State in the ACCC Men's Basketball Championship had to go to OT to decide it. That wouldn't be a shock here. One more from Ocon to make it a 2-point game. He will. Trapped in the corner was Edmondson and forced Corey Baldwin to call a timeout. It is a 30-second break. 2-point game, 4:49 to go. Inside 5, 4:49 to go. Hart able to get it out of the corner to Edmondson. And break the press. Hart out front to Wiggins. Edmondson sidestepping Porter. Loose ball. Got it back. Fires into the corner. Wiggins shoots the 3. Off the rim. Rebounded by Edmondson to Davis. Back out front it goes to Wiggins. They will reset the offense as we wiggle our way down to about 4 to play. And Ocon's going to commit the foul as Wiggins took it baseline. That may be 4 on Ocon. It is 4. So Ocon's got 4, Wiggins got 4, Evans has 4. Maybe others with 4. And we've got just about 4 to go. Prestwood going to the scorer's table to check in. Zay Wiggins 2 for 2. Wiggins with 4 out of the game. Dozier coming in for the Chargers. Pullen is out. And it's put in play to Dozier. O'Con with 4 sets the screen. Into the corner it goes to Carter. Steps inside the arc, launches the long 2, cuts the lead, 2-2. Flipped over to Prestwood. He'll fire the 3. 5-point advantage, Hawks. And there is a foul on, it must be Prestwood. The official just said back off. As Prestwood came over to the official for an explanation, but he was in no mood to give one. Prestwood will come out of the game. That is foul number 2 on Prestwood. Dozier at the stripe in a 5-point game with 3:30 to go. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Loose ball. Retrieved by Hart. Tipped by Carter. Got it. Stolen away. Takes it to the glass. Off the rim. No good. Hart with it. Heads out of the pack with it to the other end of the floor. Goes to the glass. O'Con may have just fouled out. So O'Con's day done as Hart will go to the stripe. Kane checking in. And here comes Evans with those 4 personals into the game as O'Con will exit. And apparently the injury to TJ Horton significant enough to keep him out of the game the rest of the day. He is still on the sidelines and apparently done. So O'Con and Horton out. Evans back in and playing with 4. Hart trying to extend the lead to 7. Dozier feeding to Porter. Porter lost and Davis might have been the reason. Hart's got it. Feeds down to Woods. Woods taking advantage of the height. Couldn't lay it in, but Dozier committed the foul. Let's see how many that is on Dozier. At one point, they said 3 when I had him at 4. But apparently that is 4 and not 5. Wood shooting. And the Hawks just methodically adding a point or 2 here and there to the lead. And having 2-9, their largest has been 12. The game had been trimmed to 2, though, not long ago. Porter trying to hit a 3. And you're going to have a foul on Edmondson. Edmondson getting underneath Evans. And guess how many he's got? 4. That seems to be the common number. But only one is left thus far, O'Con. And I think Dozier, who's coming out of the game and pulling, checking in, suffering from leg cramps. He is seated on the sidelines trying to stretch out calves or hams. So the Chargers right now shorthanded. As Porter will reach over Woods to try to get the rebound and commit the foul. Lead is 9, could be 10 as Wood shoots with 2:31 to play. And again, Chargers becoming more shorthanded. They've got Ocon out with fouls. They've got Horton out due to the injury. They've got Dozier out, who's working on tightening calves and hams. Drive to the glass by Evans. And Dozier going to try to get back into the ball game, standing at the scorer's table. Foul committed 2 that's got Evans shooting. And that'll be on Woods, his 3rd. Here comes Carter back in, Porter out for Georgia Highlands. Put in play to Wiggins. Loses it. Battle to get it back. He and Pullen. Jump ball called. Possession arrow will favor South Georgia State. .212 to play in what is becoming, by real-time standards, a lengthy basketball game. An hour 46 in real time. And still 2 minutes, and you know how 2 minutes in basketball can go. Fenn Woods. Over it goes to Davis. Hop, skip, and a jump, and a block by Kane. Putting up the 3 ball off the Marcus Carter. Loose ball. Kane's got it. Over to Evans, who will shoot for 3. He will hit it. And there's a timeout on the floor in what's now a 4-point ball game. 1:33 to play in a fantastic finish. .93 seconds left to play. 71-67. Wasn't long ago, it was a 10-point ball game. The Chargers have turned it into a 4-point contest. 2-possession game, plenty of time to play. And based on the way the two teams have played one another during the regular season, why not have something similar for the region championship? Back it goes to Lamar, who is checked into the game. Big possession. Off the glass, Edmondson. Over to Pullen. Feeds into the paint. And you got a walk on Kane. Well, this isn't a make or break possession, but it's big. Oh, and a turnover. That is Keith Lamar. So that is a huge turnover. Puts it back into the hands of the Chargers. And the timeout apparently had been called. So a timeout on the floor, 1:12 to play. Chargers trying to battle back. Hawks trying to take the title. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Well, it's not mandatory, but we got to get the commissioner of the GCAA on camera, Dave Elder. It's Corey Baldwin, by the way, the South Georgia State coach, who stopped by to talk to the commissioner with about 1:14 left to play in this one. Three-pointer short from Riley. Kane able to retrieve the loose ball. Goes over to Evans. He'll lean in, scoop it, miss it, and then put it right back. And now a timeout asked for by South Georgia State. As your last-minute chess match continues. 5-point game and 50 seconds to go. Less than a minute to go in this one. A two-possession contest. Chargers trying to win the Region 17 on their home floor, need to overcome a 4-point deficit. South Georgia State, after losing 2 regular season matches to the Chargers, trying to take the biggest of the 3 encounters. In play to Hart. Wiggins with 4's got it. Nearly stolen away by Kane. It is last off the fingertips of Davis. Georgia Highlands will have it. In play to Pullen. Evans feeding over to Kane for 2. Edmondson tripped up. Carter did it. And we're into the bonus. So one of the best free throw shooters on the Hawk squad will go to the stripe. But check that, it's Edmondson going to the stripe. Thought it was Hart. It is Edmondson. So Edmondson will go to the line and shoot the double bonus. Edmondson, a 69% free throw shooter. Chance to turn it into a 2-possession game again. Big couple of free throws. Woods checking back into the ball game. And he will commit the foul that has got Carter shooting. Three fouls on Woods. And Carter at the strike with the clock stopped. And if you're the Chargers, this is the guy you want there, an 82% free throw shooter. One of two. And Evans, who's grabbed the nose, may be the guy that committed the foul. He is. And he is the guy that is now fouled out and joins Ocon on the sidelines, committing his fifth. So Evans to the sidelines and Price to the stripe. Ocon and Evans have fouled out. Horton is injured. Dozier, who's fighting tightening calf and hamstring muscles, into the ball game. Pulling from the top of the key, an air ball that is off of Wiggins and out of bounds. Big possession for Georgia Highlands. A 2-possession contest. Off on the 3 try. Kane with it, hands it over to Pullen. Short on the 2. Dozier feeding it out front. Carter off on the 3. Dozier's got it back. Shoots, no good. Wrapped up by Davis. Clock running out. South Georgia State wins it. This one is final. And the Hawks, in the third meeting between the two, win the biggest of the 3. And this ball game is over. Hawks on their way to playing basketball in Kansas. As this one finishes a 76-72 ball game. Ejection from the Chargers and a celebration from the Hawks. They are crowned the GCAA Region 17 champs. Move on to play basketball in Hutchinson. Congratulations to Coach Corey Baldwin and all the gang at South Georgia State. Kudos to Georgia Highlands. Great season. Only lost one in conference play over the course of the year, but here in the title game, coming up just a little bit short. Dave Elner handing the trophy to the Hawks. And South Georgia State representing Region 17 in Hutchinson. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. Great to have you on the other end of the broadcast. A reminder, the game archived. It'll be available in just a few right here on Chop Chop. I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody. Thanks for watching.